these are the people that you want in your life. Great teachers, and today with the internet, it's so easy to find incredible teachers like you, Asmita, and then great students who are learning from these teachers and stepping into their own great. The education system was designed to produce workers in a factory.
I wanted to talk on this, Vishen, because I wanted to explain why it is important to learn the subject that truly matters, Vishen.
How many people invest their time on a weekend to come and learn something that can improve their lives? Great teachers, and today with the internet, it's so easy to find incredible teachers like you, Asmita, and then great students. And there were 5 things I learned that really changed the game for me.
Can we have a huge round of applause for Vishen Lakhiani, everyone? Hi, Vishen.
Hi everyone, it's nice to see you.
How are you?
I am doing good. I've been watching you inspire the people here, and it's so nice to be speaking to everyone in India.
My entire team, including me, is a huge fan of the work that you're doing it. And that deserves a huge round of applause for you, Vishen.
Thank you.
Welcome to Let's Make India Trade. So, there are a few things that I was very curious. Because I've been following Mindvalley and you for a very long time, there are a few things which we really wanted to know. And there are a few things which I wanted you to address to my students. I think, someone who can explain. Somebody has mastered this for a very long time. So the few things that I wanted to really ask about. So first thing that I really want to talk about, and one thing, as I was rightly saying, that one thing that I'm super confident about and very proud to say, the future of education is for sure Mindvalley. So one thing that I wanted to really know, this entire concept of, when you talk about Mindvalley, the mind transformation, I think, a lot of time, it's been a very long time, people have been avoiding or ignoring these topics, whereas people did not even realize that this is the most important thing that one needs in order to get success at anything that you're doing it. But people still ignored it for a very long time. And you brought this to the world. You unfolded the entire concept of mind transformation and human consciousness so beautifully. I want to know, Vishen, how did this all started? The start of it. Today everybody knows Mindvalley, but how did it all start, Vishen?
So firstly, I appreciate you saying I brought this to the world, but I wouldn't say I did. I brought it to the internet. The people who brought it to the world were Paramahansa Yogananda.
Right.
If you think about the impact that he had with his books, especially books like Autobiography of a Yogi, which greatly influenced me when I was a 21-year-old boy, and Jose Silva, who was a Mexican-American biofeedback researcher who developed something called the Silva method. So when I was a young boy, I grew up in Malaysia. My family is Hindu, and I grew up with Indian culture around me. My family had moved in 1939 from India to Malaysia. So I grew up in an Indian family. I grew up watching Bollywood films, so I can relate to an Indian audience. But Malaysia is also multicultural. My classmates were Buddhists, they were Muslim, they were Christians. And I think being exposed to so many different ideas also made me question certain things.
Right.
I started questioning, well, why is it that in my family, I have to be vegetarian on Mondays and Fridays? Why is it that we have to pray in a certain way? Why is it that I cannot eat a beef burger?
Right.
And I remember this questioning was an early part of my development. Now, my parents were really smart. My parents said, okay, you really want to... So I remember when the first McDonald's opened in Kuala Lumpur, okay? I really wanted to eat a beef burger. And my dad's brother, he was a very naughty guy. So he told me, just eat the beef burger. I won't tell your father. So he was like my uncle. Um, but then I felt guilty, so I had to speak to my mom about it. And my mom said, it's okay. And I asked my mom, why is it that Hindus cannot eat beef? So she explained to me her understanding. And then she said, but look, you go do your research. If you decide you want to eat it, you eat it.
Eat it.
You see, my mom was a school teacher, and this was an incredible way to get a kid to learn to do their own research, to make their own decisions, and not just blindly follow dogma. So I started researching, but I didn't just stop at researching why Hindus cannot eat beef.
Right.
I started going deep into all the books on my dad's bookshelf. There were books on spirituality, books on meditation, books on all of these different things. I picked up books by Bob Proctor, by Jose Silva. Later, I got into Paramahansa Yogananda, and at the age of 14, I started meditating.
Wow.
I started meditating based on the Silva method, and that continued throughout my life. Now, I ended up studying computer engineering, um, and eventually, when I moved to Silicon Valley, and I grew disillusioned. I grew disillusioned with what I experienced in Silicon Valley, and I decided to quit and do something. And I realized I wanted to work on education. That was my field. And that area of education was spiritual education.
Wow.
And so that's why I built the first website, which was offering Mindvalley products to the world. But it wasn't our product again. It was the Silva method. I got a license to get their meditation approach and get it out to as many people as possible. That is how Mindvalley started.
Right. That's starting meditation at the age of 14. I think very few people, and starting about educating people on spirituality. I think that is something which is, I think a lot of times, we all knew what's needed, but just that, there was nobody who would actually come out there and talk to them in their words, in their language, and helping them take those decisions. That's really great. So great to know that, Vishen. You know, so second thing that my team and I wanted to know was, when you talk about our starting phase, we all have our own journey of building it up. We have our own problems, we'll have our own challenges that we have it. And then there are few people who help us take this to the next level, who just shapes the entire thing for us wherever we are. So just wanted to know, who were the people who were a part of it, or how did they help? So we always talk about this power of association. The people you meet helps you to take things to the next level. And who were the people, and how did having a right people throughout the journey helped you to build Mindvalley where it is?
Well, I think there's a famous quote by the writer Jim Rohn, and he says, "You are the sum of the five people closest to you."
Right.
You know,
That's
many of
so
us
true.
right now may be scattered around the world, where the people that we are physically close to may not be the may not have the knowledge or the wisdom due to no fault of their own, but may not have the knowledge or the wisdom that we need to elevate. So it's very possible in the world today to find mentors. I think enrolling in a class like yours, Asmita, is a great thing for people to do.
Right.
So that is one way. Find great teachers who are teaching globally. In my case, when I was first wanted to build my website, this was 2002. There was no the environment of the internet back then was very different. So I found a mentor, and the mentor was an American digital marketer who was teaching people how to build websites that were e-commerce based, that way you could sell things.
Right.
His name was Corey Ruddle, and I attended his courses. I bought his books, and then I went on to slowly start making money, $4 at a time, and then it started growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. But yeah, so the first one was people who are teachers, basically.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
right. Now the second type of mentor are the students. A great way to grow is to find fellow students, in all our Mindvalley programs. So Mindvalley, basically, what we provide you is the teachers, the phenomenal teachers as mentors. But what the second thing we do is we provide you with fellow students that you can connect with through our private social network,
Wow.
that you can form friendships with, and you can help. They can help you grow. Because the people who are passionate about growth, I believe, are the best people in the world. If you look at the people in this audience, how many people like invest their time on a weekend to come and learn something that can improve their lives? Most people stop learning after they graduate from school. But the people here in this audience are the best people. They're the people that you want to be surrounded with. Because I bet you they're not just going to stop, all of you here are not just going to stop at stock trading. After you learn this, you're going to start learning maybe something else, maybe health. Maybe I can inspire you to learn meditation. Maybe you will go to learn entrepreneurship. They're the best people because every month they are becoming a new human being. Every month they are unfolding a new aspect of themselves. And these are the people that you want in your life. Great teachers. And today with the internet, it's so easy to find incredible teachers like you, Asmita. And then great students who are learning from these teachers and stepping into their own greatness.
So true. You know what? When we were deciding about, what day should we have Vishen as a speaker, and the entire team, the next decision was today is 5th September. It's a Teachers' Day, and we really wanted you to come on this day. So, as you rightly said, Vishen, that, first is, having a right teacher and, making sure that having the right students to come and learn it together. It's very important. Lot of time, as you rightly said, we actually stop learning once we are done with the graduations, right? Or once we are done with our college and the schools and the college. And I think the actual learning starts after we are done with our college. That is where the life throws at the challenges that throws at you, and this education that we learned in our school and college, helps you to build a base and a foundation. But the real challenges that you face when you start doing things is something which you have to learn lifelong, and that is something which cannot be stopped. And I've heard you saying, and the first thing when somebody comes on your website, the first few things that's written, that's so powerful. The first thing is like the future of education, and it's very important that people, the traditional education is irrelevant when it comes to real life, and it's very, very important to learn subjects that truly matters. And I wanted to talk on this, Vishen, because I wanted to explain why it is so important. We all have done our schoolings, we all have done with the college, but that's done. Now, from here onward, what separates you is what do you do, what do you learn, and most important, what do you start acting and implementing on it. So why this, I've heard you saying this always, and I want to talk a bit and go a little deeper on this and your insights on why it is important to learn the subject that truly matters, Vishen.
So the thing is, if you look at our education system, the education system was designed to produce workers in a factory. It was designed to produce people who were very obedient. The Indian education system, the Malaysian education system, would actually have their roots in the British Empire. And I speak this with respect for the system because my mother was Malaysia's #1 English teacher. But all of these systems have their roots in the British Empire. And the British Empire education system was designed to teach you facts and knowledge so you could be a good soldier, be a good worker. But they were not teaching you this to make you a great entrepreneur. And this carried forward to even education systems in the United States. They were not teaching for you to go to a higher class level. They were teaching you to be, in the words of Calvin Coolidge, the former American president, a cog in the wheel of industry. Okay, a cog in the wheel of industry. So many of us, if we just blindly follow our nationwide education system, we are setting ourselves up to be great workers. But that's not really the path to experiencing all of life. There are things that we can learn to escape this treadmill and truly elevate our lives. I remember when I was 13 years old, my father started his first business. And back then, the role model that I had for who I wanted to be was my mother. My mother was a school teacher, and I don't know if there's anybody here who's a school teacher. Firstly, happy Teacher's Day. But my mom, she maybe earned 400 US a month. sometimes she had to drive 2 hours to get to the classroom.
Right.
And she was a great role model. But in my mind as a 13-year-old, if I if I looked at that scenario as my aspiration, I'd be stuck today working as a school teacher. And it's a noble job, but it's underpaid.
Right.
I wouldn't get to travel. I wouldn't get to live the life I have. I wouldn't get to give the life I want for my family. So what happened was I started self-educating myself using my father's books. My father never went to university. In my family, my father was the oldest son. And I know many of you, because we're all Indian families, you can relate to this. My father was told, don't go to school, take care of the family business. Okay, so his younger brothers went to school, they became engineers, they became doctors. As the oldest son, he had to take care of the family business, so he never got to go to school. So he had a thirst for knowledge, and but he did a smart decision. He started buying books on personal growth. He wasn't reading just novels. His bookshelves were filled with books by Bob Proctor, by Jim Rome, by all of these great American personal growth teachers. That became my education. And I started learning things. And there were 5 things I learned that really changed the game for me. The first thing was entrepreneurship. Be in control of your own wealth, right? So learning to invest, like my son Hayden is behind me right now. He's 13 years old. When on his birthday, he takes out his money and he invests. He invested his money in Disney stock, in Tesla stock. This past month, he made $100 profit as the stocks went up. So the first one is be an entrepreneur. The second one is learn to invest. That's a very, very, very important lesson. And today, investing is so easy. Whether it's trading or it's crypto, investing is so easy. You must learn to invest.
Right.
Now, the unfortunate thing about me is, while I would agree with you, Asmita, today learning to invest is a very important thing. When I was growing up, there was no internet. The internet didn't come to my family until I was like 19 years old. So I never really learned that. And that is one of my biggest regrets in life. I did not really start investing until I was 39 years old.
Wow.
One of my biggest regrets. So those of you who are here today listening to Asmita, congratulations, because you are learning this way, way, way earlier. Okay, so first, entrepreneurship. Second, learn to invest. The third is learn to control your mind.
Very important.
Okay, meditation, spirituality, and controlling your mind is also the understanding that your mind can influence Maya. Maya is the Sanskrit word for illusion. Your mind can influence the fabric of reality. A phenomenal book to read as an Indian is Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. Okay, if you, it's an amazing book. It's a long read. I've read that 3 times.
Wow.
So let me tell you a story about this book. Bill Gates, sorry, not Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, in his biography by Walter Isaacson. Walter Isaacson asked Steve Jobs in the year before he died, so you invented the iPad. What books do you have in your iPad? And Steve Jobs opened his iPad and there was only one book, Autobiography of a Yogi.
Wow.
And Steve explained to Walter Isaacson that every year he reads this book.
Wow.
He goes to a hotel in Hawaii, sits by himself and reads this book.
Wow.
This is Steve Jobs' favorite book.
Wow.
And when Steve Jobs died, at his funeral, everybody was given this book by Paramahansa Yogananda. Bill Gates was given this book in his little gift bag. Why do you think Steve Jobs was giving this book to everyone? Because Jobs, the man who built the world's first trillion-dollar company, understood that the secret was not in just your business skill. The secret was in the mind. In his interview with Walter Isaacson, Isaacson said Jobs believed in prana, P-R-A-J-N-A, a Sanskrit word, prana, which is an Indian word meaning an intuitive understanding of the world.
Right.
Steve Jobs traveled to India. He studied ditches. He was very influenced by the philosophy of India. And in his Harvard address, he said, always listen to your heart and intuition. They somehow already know who you want to become.
Vishen,
There are 2 lessons. The first is understand the power of the mind, and the fourth
Vishen, your voice is little low. Can you increase the pitch? Your voice is very low. Can you just...
Oh, sorry. Intuition. Listen to your intuition. First is entrepreneurship, second is investing, third is mind, fourth is intuition.
Wow.
Okay, the fourth is intuition. Now the fifth one is goals. Being able to know what goals to chase, what goals to follow, and being able to accelerate the quality of your goals to dream bigger. A person who teaches this really well is Naveen Jain. Naveen Jain grew up he's now a teacher on Mindvalley. He grew up in a village in India. And, he told me he always used to look up at the stars and wonder about going to the stars. And he ended up moving to America, working at Microsoft, then starting a company, becoming extremely successful. And today, he is the first private citizen in the world who has permission to land a robot on the moon. Naveen Jain's program, The Power of Boldness, is on Mindvalley, and his book is called Moonshots.
Right.
This one is the fifth quality, boldness. And I would recommend, if you're learning this, learn it from a teacher who shares your Indian heritage, because I think you will relate better rather than from there are many teachers who talk about it, but I recommend it. So these five qualities: being an entrepreneur, going into trading, on investing, meditation, understanding your mind, and your mind's ability to influence the Maya or the illusion of the world, intuition, which is your gut instinct,
Right.
and fifth, boldness. These are five things I think all of us should learn.
So agree to this, so well said, and that's what I mean, irrespective of, I always say this, every time I talk to my students out there is, irrespective of what you're gonna do, you got to have these five things in place, and it's very, very important. And as you rightly said, it's very important that whom do you learn from? Okay, because you got to learn it from, because it makes life so easier, right? One book. Yesterday we had one more speaker, Mr. Sonu Sharma, and that's what we were discussing. One single book, 300
Right.
pages book, and you learn all the things that somebody has done for like 60, 70 years of a lifetime. What better than that? So reading and learning from the people who have been through that, for people who have made it, from people who have been through the entire journey, I think that is something which is very, very important. And at the same time, it's very important that your emotions are in place. You need to know, as I said, the goals has to be in place. A lot of time we just go, but we do not know where we're heading towards. So it's very important that you stop down, stop for a minute, hold on for some time, be calm, take a time to understand where are you heading towards, act on it, meditate, and all of these is something which is very important for everyone to learn it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Vishen, for this.
And Asmita, let me do something. I just want to show Naveen Jain that we are talking about him here. I'm just sending him a 10-second video WhatsApp message.
Yes.
Hi, Naveen. Just want to let you know I'm talking to 400 Indian investors here at Asmita Patel's Global School of Trading in India. And just want to let you know I'm recommending that all of them read your book. I'm telling them that it's important to learn boldness, and I'm recommending you as the best teacher for them to learn from because of your Indian heritage and your incredible story of growing up in a village in India and looking up at the moon. That story has always inspired me.
Thank you. Woo! Thank you so much, Vishen.
The number one thing is, are you growing? The most important thing is, are you growing? So, life is about that growth. It's about that spiritual growth. Everything else is just a vehicle. If your business becomes $1 billion, it doesn't matter. The question is, did you grow? If your business fails, it doesn't matter. The question is, did you grow? You measure yourself only by one thing. How much am I growing?